This is a Sony XB33 speaker, but this one has a problem. The charging port is broken and we cannot use it. One day we are enjoying our Sony Bluetooth speaker, but after 24 hours of hard labor, we came home, the battery died, and we are ready to charge it. Let's do that. But then we realize it is not charging anymore. Wow, now our heart is broken. But don't worry, if you have this problem, I'm here to help. 5 years ago, I ordered this charging port for the Sony XB33 because I knew I was going to fix one. So let me warn you, this repair is not an easy one. It requires to be a Spartan warrior to get this job done. Let's begin. To gain access to the charging port, we're going to open this Bluetooth speaker. There is a little gap right here in the bottom of the speaker. There is where we're going to start. So we're going to have our flat tools like this, and we're going to start to pry off all these plastic shell that is around our speaker, both sides. It's just held by a few clamps and probably some adhesive. So let's just do it like that. It's gonna give a little bit of force, so be aware of that. And after that, those clamps are off. You guys can see it's just gonna split just like so, and it's gonna come out in one piece. Wow, this one is being really roughly used. As you guys can see, these construction workers are really working hard. As you guys can see, there is a lot of dirt and dust being trapped in the speaker, just being filtered by this plastic mesh. Now let's remove 8 screws that are in our way. Let's put these screws on the side so we make sure we don't misplace them. And now we can just pull this cover and both of the speakers are gonna come out. So remember, we have a lot of connections on the back, so just don't pull it, you're gonna break something. Now we're going to unplug all these connections so we gain access to the charging port and we have nothing in our way. Otherwise, it's gonna be a little more difficult. All right, there you go. It's 4 connections. All right, let's put our speakers on the side. Here's where we have the most important part of our speaker, the controller. This motherboard controls everything on this Bluetooth speaker. We also need to remove these 2 cups on the sides. They're held down by 2 screws on each side. Now that the screws are out, they are really tight in place. So we're going to use some flat tools or maybe a flat screwdriver. So we're gonna unclip those parts right there, and this piece will have to come out. I have some of them already loose, and there we go. It will come out just like so. All right, same thing in the other side. That last one was not that easy, so let's put that on the side also. We need to remove this plastic holding the motherboard, and it's also held down by 6 screws right here, and we have other hidden screws behind these tapes right here. So let's remove those. All right, we removed the 3 hidden screws, so let's remove all the 6 inside this frame. Just to be safe, we are also gonna remove this back cover, which is just protecting the battery. The battery is behind this little cover. Let's remove these 4 screws. All right, that's the 4 screws, and this metal piece will come right out. After removing all the screws, we still have 2 little clamps just hugging this plastic piece, and we need to just unclip it. This will give you a really hard time if you try to pull it out this way. What you can do, go on the back and push over the battery, and this piece will come right off just like so. Now we have the whole heart of this speaker out. We have an empty shell, plastic empty shell right here, and let's just put it on the side. So here we have our pieces. This is what we need. Probably we're not going to mess with this right here. We're not going to unplug these cables because we don't need to. What we need is this piece. This is where the charging port is sitting on, and that's we are here to replace. So let's just set free this little board. All right, to unplug this cable, all you have to do is just pull it and it will come right out. And also, as you guys can see, at the same time, when I pull the cable, this other piece just came apart. But this is very easy. It just goes inside these 6 little pins, and it goes like so. That's how it is connected. It's just the bottoms. That's the controller for our Bluetooth speaker. Let's put it right there. The part that we need to replace, that little charging port. Let's clean this up so we can work more comfortably. To solder our new charging port, I'm gonna use a few other tools. I'm gonna use this small press. Also, I'm gonna use the rework station and the hot iron. I'm gonna apply a little bit of flux to help me remove this old USB connection. All right, just like so. And I'm gonna use my heat gun to remove it. I'm gonna use the settings 400 degrees Celsius. I'm not gonna shoot the air straight into it. I'm gonna go getting closer little by little, just like kind of controlling the heat. Remember, we have other pieces around. We don't want to damage those. So let's just get closer and closer, little by little. Perfect. That's what we're looking for. That's how you remove it. Now let's grab the new one. I'm gonna hold it with my tweezers just like so. I'm gonna use the same technique. I'm gonna melt the solder and squish my charging port inside. This is a technique you guys can use to replace charging ports. But you gotta be really quick. So you guys can see how I did it. I melt that solder that is already on this little port, and when that is liquid, just install your new one. Apply a little bit of flux, and that will help just to seal that solder, and it's gonna be really nice and steady. After that, we're gonna use our items. Let me take this apart. All right, we don't need this anymore. We can always check. We have all the connections right there on the back. Unfortunately, I don't have my microscope camera ready to show you like up close how that will look, but this is not done yet. I'm gonna go into my microscope and I'm going to solder all these little joints. Those joints have to be soldered perfectly. Using our soldering iron, we are going to secure and make a strong connection in the back of our charging port, because this is not only for charging purposes, it serves for many other options on our speaker. So let's do that. So here's our old charging port, and here's the new one, just freshly installed. So now we have finished with this. We have to do everything what we just did, just in reverse. Before we install all the parts back together, let's do a little cleaning. We have all these pieces really dusty. So let's just help this out a little bit by cleaning them. After a long day of work, we all feel better with the shower. Okay, we finished there. So let's connect back our charging port, and probably we can even test it to see if we see any lightning, something that tell us that this port now is working. So let's plug all the pieces. I mean, it's just a few pieces here, and see what happened. We have our charging port back in place. So let's bring our charger and let's see the results of our work. And this is the moment we were waiting for. Let's go. Success! Yes! It's been a journey. We take this thing apart just for a hope to get it fixed, and here we are. The answer is yes. It can be fixed. We have to put everything back together and enjoy this Bluetooth speaker once again. Bring back from death. All right, let's go, guys. Let's go. This is just gonna pump up our enthusiasm. Let's go. All right, let's squish this piece back into this plastic enclosure. There we go. After inserting this plastic piece, the motherboard, everything into the enclosure, guys, make sure this piece, the charging port and the USB, is aligned with the holes right here, because I made the mistake not to check and I had to do it all over again. And now it's time to reinstall all our screws. Our next step is to put the two cups on the side of the speaker. All right, after installing those cups, as you guys can see, we have two screws on each side. Let's install those. All right, we are looking really good and our speaker is taking shape again. Next step, it's gonna be the speakers. Remember, we need to plug in all these cables so our motherboard can feed the audio into our speakers. Everything is connected properly, and now we're just going to close this. we take a little look to see if any cable is just hanging around. When we make sure everything is closed properly, we proceed to install our 8 screws back in here. All the screws are back in place. Here is the last piece of this speaker. This mesh is really dirty. Let's just brush it up the dust a little bit before we install it. And this is the more fun part because it is the last part just to put these back together. All right, we did a great job. And this is how easy it is to put this one back together. Just remember when you were in first grade and put the shapes together. Just like so. Wow. This one is gonna be a little more difficult. You have to use a little bit of muscle on this one. That's why I recommend you go to the gym before you attempt to repair this speaker. And just like so, the speaker is back to normal. So here is, let's try to charge it once again to make sure this repair process was not part of our fever dream. The light indicator shows that this speaker is charging. Let's try to turn it on and see if it turns on in fact. All right, I see some lights. What about some sound? We have all the lights flashing. Nice. Let's connect it. We can see something on the background too. All right, let's test it and try to pair it with our phone.
Bluetooth pairing.
Okay, it's the first time we hear some noise out of this, some sound. All right, we can see it right here on our phone. Let's click on it and see.
Bluetooth connected.
All right, now our Bluetooth is working, is paired to our phone. Now we can enjoy hours of yoga and relaxing music in the comfort of our $1 million house. Let's play some ambient music just to finish this test. It's amazing how our Bluetooth speaker is working perfectly. This shows you that even in the eye of the storm we can see some light, and this speaker is being fixed and it's been tested. That's all we're gonna do on this video. And I hope this video helped you to fix your Sony XB33 Bluetooth speaker, or at least to have some entertainment. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon so you don't miss future videos. This video is finished. Thank you guys. Bye now.